In the world of high-stakes performance, we understand that a system is only as strong as its foundation. We optimize our businesses, our investments, and our physical health. Yet, for many high-achieving families, the most stressful hour of the day isn't in the boardroom, it's at the dinner table. If mealtime feels like a war zone, you aren't just dealing with a picky eater. You are witnessing a collision between biological survival instincts and neurological development. When a child throws a plate of organic, nutrient-dense food, they aren't rejecting your cooking. They are responding to a perceived threat in their environment. We often approach feeding as a logistical task, calories in, energy out. But neuroscience tells us that for a child, eating is a high-stakes sensory event. If the nervous system isn't in a state of social engagement, the digestive system literally shuts down. Tonight, we move beyond hidden veggies and bribery. We are going to discuss the 10-minute connection rule and the neurobiology of feeding. This is the protocol to transition your home from mealtime battles to a sanctuary of nourishment and elite cognitive development. To change the behavior, we must understand the biology. Most picky eating is actually food neophobia, a survival mechanism left over from our evolutionary past. To a primitive brain, a new green vegetable isn't a superfood, it's a potential toxin. Data from pediatric nutrition studies reveals a truth that lowers parental anxiety instantly. It takes 15 to 20 consistent exposures for a child's brain to categorize a new food as safe. Most parents give up after 3 to 5 attempts. In a high-performance household, we don't look for instant ROI, we look for long-term compounding interest. Each refusal is actually a successful data point in the brain's exposure log. When we pressure a child to just take one bite, we trigger the amygdala, the fear center. Once the amygdala is activated, the body enters fight or flight mode. Cortisol rises and the hunger hormone ghrelin is suppressed. You cannot force a brain to be hungry when it feels under attack. The elite solution is the safe food protocol. Every meal must include one safe food, something the child has a 100% success rate with. This acts as a neurological anchor. When the child sees the safe food, the amygdala de-escalates, allowing the prefrontal cortex to remain curious about the new foods on the plate. Before the first bite is ever taken, the battle is won or lost. In our high-speed, digitally driven lives, we often transition from a high-pressure Zoom call straight to the dinner table. Our nervous systems are high beta, fast, stressed, and distracted. Children are mirror neurons in human form. They pick up on our frequency. 10 minutes before the meal, all devices are silenced. You engage in floor time. No teaching, no correcting, no "how was your day?" Just 10 minutes of pure, unstructured presence. This window transitions both the parent and the child from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system, the state of rest and digest. By the time you sit at the table, the child's social engagement system is online. They aren't just eating food, they are absorbing safety. How we speak during a meltdown determines the child's future relationship with their own emotions. We often say, "Stop crying, you're okay, it's just broccoli." But imagine if you were overwhelmed after a devastating business loss and your partner said, "Stop crying, you're fine." You would feel isolated and misunderstood. When a child is upset at the table, we use the sportscasting method. We narrate the neurological event without judgment. I see you are frustrated. You wanted the blue cup and we have the green one today. That feels disappointing. Naming an emotion reduces activity in the amygdala by 40% almost instantly. By validating the frustration, you move them out of the fear center and back into the analytical center. You are building their emotional quotient while they learn to eat. For the high-performance child, we focus on nutrient density over volume. Iron is the primary fuel for cognitive focus. If a child is picky, we prioritize high-quality, bioavailable iron to support brain oxygenation. And while we can blend spinach into a smoothie, we must also serve the whole leaf on the side. We want them to know what they are eating. We are building a relationship with food, not a trick. Use sensory mapping. Is the food crunchy, soft, cold, warm? By describing the sensory experience rather than the taste, you engage the child's curiosity rather than their defense. Parenting in the top 1% of performance isn't about controlling the outcome, it's about stewarding the environment. When you implement the 10-minute connection rule and the safe food protocol, you're not just solving a dinner problem, you're hardwiring their brain for emotional regulation, optimizing their gut-brain axis for lifelong health, and building a foundation of trust that will last through adolescence. A child who feels safe at the table is a child who will eventually be brave at the table and in life. Your presence is the most powerful nutrient you can provide.